It's chicken time again. And if you've watched enough of my videos, you know that chicken thighs are my favorite part of the chicken to make. So today we're gonna be seasoning up some chicken thighs. They're gonna air dry in the refrigerator overnight. Tomorrow we're gonna get them out on the kettle. We're gonna smoke them up, hit them with a really nice glaze. And at the end of the day, we're gonna have some spicy peach chicken. All right, so I am starting with 8 bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. And one of the reasons I like to do chicken thighs or other chicken pieces this way with air drying is overnight in the refrigerator, uncovered in a rimmed baking sheet so nothing drips out of there and contaminates anything. That allows this skin to dry out enough that when you're doing it out on something like the Weber Kettle, it just helps it get beyond that rubbery stage. You may not get super crispy skin like you would with fried chicken, but most of the time that's really not possible doing it this way, unless you're going with super high heat and then you have a chance to overcook the chicken. I like to get the chicken skin so that it's bite through, cut through easily, not rubbery. And sometimes it will just turn out perfect and have a nice crisp to it. We'll see tomorrow. But first I want to get this seasoned up, and I'm going to do 2 layers of seasoning today. The first one, I'm using It's Incredible by Heaven Made Products. This to me is about the best all-around seasoning you can get. I use it on anything and it is particularly great on chicken. So I'm going to give a good little coating here to these thighs. Turn them over real quick at the back side. And I didn't really do anything to these thighs except, trim off some of the excess fat that was hanging off of it. Get these turned back over. Let's hit a little bit more on this side. Any of that exposed meat right there. I know a lot of people like to get up under the skin and push the seasoning there. Personally, I don't like doing that because I feel it just separates the skin from the meat and you have a much more likely chance that that skin's just going to slide off when you go to cut it. This way, you have a little bit better chance, in my experience, to have that skin hold on as it dries and as it hopefully crisps up when you're cooking it. All right, our final layer of seasoning on this is going to be some smoked paprika. Now, if you don't have smoked paprika, you could use regular paprika, and you could just go with a seasoning like It's Incredible or any seasoning you want on this. But the smoky flavor you'll get from true smoked paprika really is nice. I got this smoked paprika from Old Town Spice Shop. I'll put a link in the video description to it and a link to the It's Incredible at Heaven Made Products. This is really good. Really nice smoky flavor. And I'm just going to hit the top side with this. I'm not going to flip it over. And that's it. This is going to go in the refrigerator now overnight. It's going to dry out. And tomorrow morning, we're going to get it out on the Weber Kettle and give it some great smoke out there as we cook this up. And as soon as I get this in the refrigerator, I'll see you right back here because we're going to make the glaze for this. So with our chicken thighs in the refrigerator, beginning to air dry overnight, it's time to get this glaze ready. And this is a spicy peach glaze. We're starting with 18 ounces of peach preserves. These are just a store-bought Kroger brand peach preserves. You can use any peach preserves you want or a different flavor. You could really pick any fruit you like. This just gives a good base for this glaze. And we're gonna reserve some of this when it comes time to glaze the chicken so that we can have it once the chicken is done to sort of brush on, have an extra little bit of flavor. So to this 18 ounces of peach preserves, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. We're also gonna add a tablespoon of red pepper flakes. And we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of chili garlic sauce. This is a sauce that you'll find a lot of times in Vietnamese restaurants on the table. It's pretty common in most grocery stores to get, and it's fantastic flavor just on its own, but it's great as a contrast to the sweetness of this. And we are just gonna mix this up. And this is gonna be great sitting overnight in the refrigerator, letting all these flavors come together and blend. Everybody's gonna become friends in this bowl, and it's gonna taste great once they get to know each other. People a lot of times in the comments of my videos, they will say that I'm like the Bob Ross of barbecue or cooking or whatever it is. Now, I find that to be a compliment. Bob Ross is pretty amazing. He did amazing things with painting, but if I took this hat off, you would see that I do not have a fro to match his. But still, I think it's a compliment. All these happy little peppers in there. If you watch Bob Ross, you'll know what that means. All right, let's give this a taste. Ooh, has a little bit of a kick, but that sweetness is wonderful from those peach preserves. And once this is on the chicken, at the end of our cooking process out on the Weber Kettle, the glaze, it's gonna mellow. That heat is gonna be perfect. All right, this is going in the refrigerator overnight, and tomorrow, I'll see you outside at the Weber Kettle. All right, so our chicken has been air drying overnight in the refrigerator. The Weber Kettle's going with the 2 briquette baskets, and I'm not using an ambient temperature probe today in here. I'm just gonna look at the lid thermometer because really this is just gonna be a hot cook. Right now the kettle's at about 350. It's probably gonna go up a bit once we get the lid off, some more oxygen pours in. I will be using a probe for internal temperature of the chicken, so let's go ahead and get those on. You can see I'm just using the center section, the main section of the Mallory cast iron grate today. I'm gonna get the bigger pieces sort of in the middle. They're a little bit closer to the briquette baskets. The ends a little less so. I'm gonna put my temperature probe right in this guy. And this is spicy peach chicken, so we're gonna use some peach wood. All right, let's get our lid on and get smoking. And because the chicken is surrounded on 2 sides by the briquette baskets, I'm just gonna put the vent over the far end and the lid thermometer over the opposite end. Now I'm gonna be taking these chicken thighs to somewhere around 170 degrees. I might pull them at 165 because they'll continue to rise in temperature a bit, but at about 140 degrees, I'm gonna glaze these. Right now my vents on the kettle are fully open. If the temperature spikes, let's say above 450, I'll probably dial them down a bit. But for now, we're just gonna let these smoke. I'll see you back here when it's time to glaze these. All right, we've been going about 25 minutes. The kettle temp is just under 400 degrees, and I want to give these a little spot check for temp. The internal temp of the piece of chicken that I put the internal probe on is at 121 degrees. So it's moving quick because it's a hot kettle. There's some really nice color on these. Let's do a quick little check here. That's showing 117. Check down here. Yeah, that's showing 128. All right, we're getting close. I'm gonna leave the lid on here for a few more minutes till we hit 145 internal, and then we are gonna glaze these spicy peach chicken thighs. All right, we are 30 minutes in. We just are coming up on 145 internal. It's moving pretty quickly, so we're gonna glaze these. This is gonna be a fantastic glaze. All right, as soon as I'm done with this and I get the lid back on, I'm gonna crank the vents down. I wanna keep the temperature down a bit in this last little part to give these a chance to finish nicely. I've got my top vent set at half, and I'm taking my bottom vent down to 1/3. I'll see you back here when we hit about 170 internal. All right, we are right at 170 degrees internal. Let's take a look at these and get them off of here. I just love this color. All right, I'm gonna get these off here, let them cool down for maybe 10 minutes, and then we're gonna have a taste. These may be the most beautiful chicken thighs I've made. That spicy peach glaze at the end there really set these off. Perfect color, I just love this. I didn't even add any more glaze after they came off here. That's just what was on there when we brushed it on and it finished up. These just look gorgeous, but looks are only part of something when you're serving food. The biggest thing, the most important thing, as I always say, does it taste good? Does it please people when they eat it? So let's see how we did here. Let's just get some good slices here. Oh yeah, there we go. Love that juice. This is why I love chicken thighs. They have so much inherent moisture in them because of the fat content. I mean, just look at that. Just juice running out of there for days. Let's cut some of this here. Let's turn it over here and cut some from this side. Oh yeah. This is going to be some good eating today. That skin, not rubbery. It's not crispy like fried chicken, but it is not rubbery, cuts through easily, stays attached to the meat. Right now, I couldn't be more happy, but I want to see how this tastes, so it is time to taste. I'm going to take a piece here. Let's see. Before I comment on the glaze, there's more flavor there. That rub combination we used, it's incredible from Heaven Made Products, and the smoky paprika, absolutely terrific flavor underneath that sweet heat from the Spicy Peach Glaze. This is fantastic. Total cook time was about 40 minutes. The kettle temperature stayed right around, let's say 390 almost the entire time. Got up to about 400, down to 375, but really in that range, right around 390. These were not huge chicken thighs, so they cook quickly, which is fantastic. For a 40-minute cook, you get amazing chicken. And that Spicy Peach Glaze. Using just peach preserves from the store, nothing fancy. You could use your own peach preserves or your own preserves of any other flavor. Add as much heat as you want. I wanted some heat in this, so that's why I went with the chili garlic sauce and the red pepper flakes, but it's not overpowering, it really mellows. So a minute ago I said these may be the most beautiful chicken thighs I've cooked. I think these may be the best tasting chicken thighs I cooked. The combination of those rubs and the Spicy Peach Glaze, I think that takes this over the top.